This episode of See It to Believe It Paranormal Podcast features gore and excruciatingly detailed segments.
Watch yourself.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the See It to Believe It podcast. I'm your host, Ben, joined by Connor.
Yeah, let's go. Woo!
Yes. So today we're talking about spooky stuff. Connor, anything spooky happened to you in the past week?
Only these gas prices.
Oh, what about you, Jimmy? All right, thanks, Jimmy. Oh, what a dude. What a dude.
Yep.
So, today we plan on telling you some nice little things that have happened in this world of the natural and of the supernatural.
Hold
So,
on. My mic. Here we go.
Yes. Hi, Connor.
How's it going?
It's going good. I guess I will start us off today since you started us off last week. Mr. Connor, what do you know about the Amityville Horror?
Oh, I know that's the name of a movie. That's about as far as my knowledge goes.
Okay, so believe it or not, this is the most famous case done by the Warrens. It's not anything that's happened in any of the Conjuring movies, but it's still the most famous case that they've been a part of.
Wow.
So I'll start off with a little prerequisite before we get into the supernatural stuff. I mean, it could still be deemed supernatural, but on November 13th, 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. shot and killed 6 members of his family at 112 Ocean Avenue. Yes, there's a place off Ocean Avenue. A large Dutch colonial house in suburban Amityville on the south shore of Long Island, New York. He was convicted of second-degree murder in November of 1975 and was sentenced to 6 sentences of 25 years in prison. Okay? You got that, Connor? So a guy went in there, killed his whole family. Now, the creepy thing about this is that when he went in and shot them, nobody, so there's pictures of the stuff, and nobody was, had any signs of struggle. So how do you go in and shoot 6 people without waking anybody else up?
Silencer on that.
It's a shotgun in the 1970s.
Never mind.
There is no silencer for, I mean, there probably is, but so the weird thing is, I mean, it's really not weird. There was a thunderstorm that night, but I feel like I could determine the difference between a shotgun and a clap of thunder.
I think so. I think I could too.
But so there's this theory that there was possibly a demonic being in the house before there was ever any reported activity that held the people down to their beds and kept them asleep because they were all facing down into their bed when they all died. None of them were facing up. But
Weird.
yeah, they were all killed. And then in 1975, George and Kathy Lutz and their 3 children moved into the house. So the house was sold so quickly after that the furniture of the DeFeos was still there when they moved in, and it stayed there.
Oh.
The Lutzes paid an extra $400 to keep all the furniture there. And then George had a friend who lived there, and the friend told him to get the house blessed. But, going where the story goes, obviously, blessing the house just wasn't enough. So, George was he was a non-practicing Methodist who had no experience on the world of horror. And Kathy was a non-practicing Catholic. Okay? I mean, they're not practicing, so that's just calling for demonic spirits and entities. So, by mid-January in 1976, after they attempted to get the house blessed, they experienced... Oh, wait, no, I'm jumping too far ahead into the story, Connor. I'm jumping too far ahead into the story, my guy. Okay? I put a note in the wrong spot. So, let's just get this out of the way. They only stayed in the house for 28 days after buying it.
Okay.
And some creepy stuff started to happen. Okay.
Like what?
So there were flies that would just appear in random places of the house.
Oh.
So what would you like not just like small amounts of flies, like many flies, like unnatural amount of flies. And there was like nothing dead or anything.
Oh.
And then they would also smell death, essentially. That's a common thing that happens in the supernatural cases, Ooh, stinky, stinky, stinky. Connor, do you know what the smell of death smells like?
No, I personally have not experienced that.
Connor, have you ever been to the fair in the middle of the summer and gone to the porta potty?
Oh.
It's worse than that.
Oh no, not the porta potty smell.
Do you like porta potties?
You know what? Hot take. I don't think porta potties are as bad as everyone makes them out to be.
Hot take. I agree.
They're,
If you gotta go, they're not that bad.
they're not. There's worse places you could go.
If they're clean.
That's true.
If they're not clean, then
Like the first day of the fair, they're always clean.
Then you get all the hillbillies. So, Connor, you know what else they would see?
What would they see, Ben?
They would see glowing red eyes.
Oh.
Is that our buddy the Mothman up in Amityville?
He's taking a day trip. Don't worry about it.
This is my house.
He wanted to come in and check on the devil, see if what he's doing.
Connor, what would you do if you were the devil?
Do little things to annoy people.
Oh, just little things.
Whenever you get like a door handle caught on your like jean belt loop.
Oh yes.
That every time.
I don't know how that even happens half the time. So you know what? I would expect there to be a demon involved. So, Connor, you know what the creepiest part about this all was?
What?
George Lutz, the guy who bought the house, so he wasn't the father of the children. That's not very important to the story, but I guess in some way it might kind of tailor into the authenticity of this case. But George Lutz became possessed and tried to kill everyone.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Wow,
that's always some fun stuff. And so that was like the last straw. And then so they became so spooked that they ended up leaving the house after 28 days and they never went back. They never went back for they did get their belongings, but they paid someone else to do it. Which is a big deal because they didn't have money to do that. So afterwards, the Ed and Lorraine Warren got involved. And
good friends Ed and Lorraine.
Ed and Lorraine. There is mention of the Amityville horror in one of the Conjuring movies. And real life Lorraine Warren claimed that the Amityville house is the most terrifying place she's ever been in. Because actual Lorraine Warren was psychic and she could see ghosts, apparently. Because psychics aren't all that trustworthy. So this is actually the case that this was bigger than Annabelle. So this one made the Warrens be super popular. They wrote a book about it in the 19. Yes.
Was Annabelle part of The Conjuring?
Annabelle.
Is that a spin-off of The Conjuring movies?
Yeah, Annabelle's a spin-off of the Conjuring movies.
Okay, thank you.
None of the Conjuring movies, none of the Annabelle movie stuff is actually anything that genuinely happened. But there is.
I guess that. I just didn't know from lore-wise.
But the you know what? I'll do the actual Annabelle case next week.
Oh yeah, I'll do an SCP next week then.
Oh. And so the spookiness. So the Warrens got super popular off of the Amityville horror, and a lot of people started calling them out for hoaxing this all together. But at the end, it could not be proven.
Yeah.
So, in May 1977, Kathy and George filed a lawsuit against the defense lawyer for the guy who killed the family. I don't know why. I just thought that was a fun fact.
What did he do?
I don't know. I couldn't find it. And then in June 1979, George and Kathy took polygraph tests. For those who don't know what that is, it's a lie detector test, which is not admissible in court. And they were tested by the best polygraph experts in America, and the results did not indicate they were lying. So they were telling the truth, according to the polygraph, which is not admissible in court. So nobody really knows if the Amityville house is haunted or not. Nothing's happened. Well, the owners say stuff has happened since, because, you got to keep the spirit of the Amityville horror alive, but it's been deemed a bunch of mumbo jumbo. And so let me pull up my other notes real quick for you, Connor. Just for you, I'll do it.
It's a nice looking house, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. It's also
I didn't know it was haunted. I'd move in here.
Well, that is a very common house layout, for the world to know. So, sadly, we won't really ever know if the house is haunted or not, because sadly, before the Warrens passed away, both Kathleen and George Lutz passed away, both in the mid-2000s. Sadly, they got divorced in the 1980s, though, so you never know. You never know what's gonna happen, Connor. Is this place haunted? I'm asking you.
Know.
Oh, I see. So, the Amityville horror also spun off like 20 movies, ranging from the 1970s to 2021.
I looked up Amityville and I just got a list of movies.
Oh yeah, there's like 20. I personally have seen 3 of them. I've seen the original Amityville horror from 1979, Amityville 2, which is terrible. It's everyone's favorite incest movie. And I've seen the 2005 remake starring Ryan Reynolds.
Wow.
And yeah, Amityville Horror.